He showed Paul this photo and said, "You are riddled with tumours all over." And he said, "There really isn't anything anybody can do." It was the 24th of June, and he said to Paul, "You won't see Christmas."
Researcher, cook, advocate, the second opinion at every appointment. The wife behind the longest living mesothelioma patient, Sue Kraus. Doctors gave her husband Paul just months, but Sue helped him live 27 years. This is her story.
And so I drove to the hospital to pick him up. He just looked 20 years older than he was. I remember to this day driving home, and I absolutely felt like I'd hit a brick wall. He said, "My belly button's sticking out. I better go and get this checked out." The day that he had the surgery, where he thought it was just going to be absolutely minor, bit of an umbilical hernia repair, he thought, "I've got to stop eating morning teas. I'm getting too fat." And what that was actually you produce ascites, which is fluid, which was actually filling the abdomen. When the doctor went in there to fix this umbilical hernia, so-called, all this fluid poured out. They got something like 1 litre of fluid off of his abdomen. And he had no symptoms that would have alerted us to the fact of a possible cancer diagnosis, let alone a prognosis that was so short. We did not think he had mesothelioma. They couldn't find a primary. They were looking for a primary. They thought it was going to be the liver or the pancreas. I remember saying to the GP, "So what cancer has no primary?" And he said, "Well, mesothelioma, but he won't have that." It actually took about 5 weeks, and mesothelioma wasn't that easy to diagnose back then. Just after he was diagnosed, we saw two more oncologists, and they both gave him no hope. There was just nothing positive. You've got doctors telling you there's no hope. You've got the internet telling you there's no hope. All the books, if you can find much, and they would all say there was no hope. He had a scan at 3 months, and despite everything he was doing, it was still no better. And he said, "But we're doing everything." And I said, "Yes, but it takes the body at least 4 months to start to turn around." Then when we had the 6-month scan, which was just before Christmas, we actually knew the radiologist, and he said to Paul, "I can't see any deterioration." And we thought, well, that's encouraging, because they said he was going to be dead by now. It's not the only time we had a doctor not be able to comprehend that Paul's scans showed no deterioration and in fact started to show improvement. They couldn't believe it with mesothelioma. It's an irony that I think he still can't quite believe that Paul survived for 27 years. It's far better to be able to read the experience of someone who's gone through it. Paul's book actually covered all of the aspects. He did diet, he did meditation, he did the power of the mind. One of the chapters is the first time you meet your oncologist. What are the questions to ask? And there's a whole page of the right questions to ask. Don't give up hope. Hope is physiologic. Hope can change the body chemistry. And Paul was living proof of that. He chose to embrace other means and was alive 27 years later.